You are carrying a silent time bomb right now, slowly drowning in toxic fat without a single ounce of pain. By the time you finally feel it, it is almost too late. Discover the invisible poison destroying you from the inside out before the timer runs out. Imagine carrying a ticking time bomb inside your chest right now, one that is slowly suffocating your life force. Yet it makes absolutely no sound. You wake up exhausted. Your joints ache with a mysterious heaviness. Your vision blurs as the sun sets, and you blame it on aging, stress, or a failing thyroid. But what if I told you that these are not isolated diseases? They are the desperate, distant cries for help from a massive metabolic engine trapped inside you, slowly drowning in toxic fat. It is a silent epidemic that has already secretly claimed the bodies of over half the adult population. And the most terrifying part is that you won't feel a single ounce of pain until it is almost entirely destroyed. This is the deadly trap of a fatty liver. Canada Senior Health Guide 04 warmly welcomes you to a journey that will completely shatter everything you thought you knew about your own body. If you want to uncover the hidden truths of your health and escape this silent crisis, please hit that subscribe button right now to support our channel so we can continue bringing you these life-saving videos. To truly understand this, we must look beneath the surface of what modern medicine often tells us. Why is this crisis so devastatingly silent? Because the liver, this monumental biochemical sponge sitting quietly beneath your right rib cage, lacks pain receptors in its internal tissues. You can lose up to 70% of its vital function. You can have it completely smothered in thick, suffocating layers of fat, and you will walk around completely oblivious. You won't feel an ache until the inflammation swells so severely that it stretches the fragile glisson's capsule surrounding it, or until a routine ultrasound accidentally reveals the grim reality. The silence is not a sign of health. It is the ultimate betrayal. Your body is an intricate, deeply connected web of biochemical pathways. When this metabolic powerhouse begins to fail, the entire system fractures. Every single cofactor needed to sustain the cells across your body is severed, leaving you deteriorating from the inside out. This brings us to one of the most catastrophic physiological myths of our modern age, a misconception so deeply ingrained that it leads countless people down a path of misguided treatments and lifelong suffering. Ask almost anyone where bile comes from, and they will immediately point to the gallbladder. This is a fundamental, devastating lie. The profound truth is that your liver is the one and only biochemical factory capable of synthesizing bile. Every single hepatocyte works relentlessly, extracting cholesterol to manufacture up to a full liter of this vital digestive fluid every single day. The gallbladder produces absolutely nothing. It is merely a hollow storage pouch that extracts water to concentrate the bile, lying in wait for the exact moment you consume a fat-heavy meal. Once you finally grasp this profound reality, the blindfold is removed. When you struggle to digest fats, when adult acne ravages your skin, or when you face mysterious, crippling vitamin deficiencies despite a perfect diet, the root cause is not that tiny gallbladder. The true culprit is the factory itself. A once pristine liver that is now congested, overwhelmed, and slowly choking on its own fat. When this factory chokes, the first devastating domino to fall is the very fluid meant to dissolve and assimilate your dietary fats. If your liver cannot produce thin, free-flowing bile, the fats you eat pass right through you, undeconstructed and useless. But this goes far beyond a mere upset stomach or a bout of indigestion. This failure initiates a catastrophic, body-wide starvation of fat-soluble vitamins, plunging your system into a dark age of deficiency, even if you are eating the most nutrient-dense diet on Earth. Think about vitamin A, the absolute cornerstone of your vision and immune defense. Without bile to break it down, your night vision begins to falter, and your eyes dry out, leaving you rubbing them in frustration at the end of a long day. Think about vitamin D, the master hormone that commands your immune system and mood. You could spend hours in the summer sun or swallow handfuls of expensive supplements, but without a healthy liver manufacturing quality bile to absorb it, that vitamin D is entirely wasted, leaving your bones brittle and your spirit crushed by an unexplained, heavy depression. Then there is vitamin E, the ultimate antioxidant that protects your cellular walls from rusting and aging, and vitamin K2, the molecular traffic cop that ensures calcium goes into your bones rather than calcifying your delicate arteries. When your liver is suffocated by fat, this entire supply chain is severed. Your arteries begin to stiffen, your joints ache with a deep, grinding inflammation, and your immune system becomes utterly confused. You are quite literally starving at a cellular level in the midst of plenty. Your body is screaming for the raw materials it needs to repair itself, but the delivery mechanism is completely broken. Modern medicine frequently attempts to mask these secondary failures with synthetic hormones, joint pills, and antidepressants, completely missing the burning fire at the core of your metabolism. The agonizing truth is that we are treating the echoes of the disease rather than the disease itself. Every broken nail, every handful of hair lost in the shower, and every mysterious hormonal imbalance is a whisper from a liver that is begging you to clear the toxic sludge and let it breathe again. This profound state of inner starvation and toxicity cannot stay hidden in the dark forever. Eventually, it bleeds through your skin and stains your vision. Your liver was designed to be the ultimate filtration system, a master chemist that neutralizes the endless barrage of environmental toxins, metabolic waste, and excess hormones circulating in your blood. But when it is encased in a straitjacket of fat, that filter clogs. The toxins have nowhere to go but back into your bloodstream, forcing your body into a desperate, secondary strategy for survival. It pushes this toxic burden out through the only other large escape routes available: your skin and your breath. When you suddenly develop cystic acne well into your adult years, when your cheeks are perpetually flushed with rosacea, or when you find yourself scratching at inexplicably itchy skin, you are not suffering from a dermatological disease. You are witnessing the overflow of a poisoned liver. The skin is weeping the very toxins the liver can no longer process. Have you noticed dark, velvety patches forming on the back of your neck or in your armpits? That is acanthosis nigricans, a blaring alarm bell of severe insulin resistance inextricably linked to a fatty liver. But perhaps the most poetic and tragic reflection of your liver's health is found in your eyes. Ancient healing traditions have long stated that the liver opens to the eyes, and modern physiology completely validates this. When bile backs up and bilirubin builds in the blood, the whites of your eyes take on a muddy, yellowed tint. The chronic dry eyes, the sudden appearance of floating webs in your field of vision, the inability to focus after a meal. These are not just the unavoidable consequences of getting older. They are the desperate check engine lights of a failing metabolic engine. The fatigue that accompanies this is not normal tiredness. It is a profound, bone-deep exhaustion that sleep cannot fix, because your mitochondria are suffocating in a toxic environment. We are conditioned to look in the mirror and apply expensive serums, or visit the optometrist for stronger glasses, willfully ignoring the massive organs struggling right beneath our ribs. Every external blemish and every visual distortion is a deeply personal plea from your body, asking you to stop looking at the surface and start healing the source. Yet, to merely treat these desperate warning signs with creams and eye drops is to ignore the true architect of this destruction, a culprit hidden in plain sight on nearly every grocery store shelf. For decades, we were handed a tragic, oversimplified lie. We were told that eating fat makes our liver fat. We stripped the natural fats from our diets, replacing them with highly processed grains, synthetic seed oils, and staggering amounts of refined sugar, believing we were making the healthy choice. The catastrophic irony is that this very dietary shift is what ignited the global fatty liver pandemic. The biological truth is that dietary fat does not cause a fatty liver. Sugar does. Specifically, liquid fructose. When you consume a massive influx of refined carbohydrates or high fructose corn syrup, hidden in seemingly innocent fruit juices, yogurts, and supposedly healthy granolas, your body enters a state of sheer metabolic panic. Unlike glucose, which can be utilized by every cell in your body for energy, fructose is a rogue molecule. It bypasses your body's normal regulatory gates and makes a direct, unstoppable beeline for your liver. Your liver processes fructose almost identically to how it processes alcohol, acting as a metabolic dumping ground. Faced with this overwhelming flood of energy it cannot use, the liver has no choice but to activate a process called de novo lipogenesis, literally creating new fat from nothing. It furiously converts the excess sugar into triglycerides, packing them tightly within its own cells. Day after day, year after year, the liver becomes a storage locker for toxic, inflammatory fat. This vicious cycle breeds severe insulin resistance. Your pancreas pumps out more and more insulin to shove sugar into already stuffed cells, creating a hormonal storm that locks the fat permanently inside the liver. You become a walking factory of inflammation, your internal organs marinating in a sticky, sweet sludge that slowly chokes the life out of your cells. The most heartbreaking part of this tragedy is that people are genuinely trying to be healthy. They eat the fat-free, sugar-laden foods recommended by outdated guidelines, unknowingly force-feeding their liver the exact poison that destroys it. Understanding this biochemical mechanism is the ultimate key to your freedom. You cannot heal a fatty liver by running on a treadmill or cutting out natural fats while still drinking the sweet poisons that caused the damage in the first place. But even in the face of such profound metabolic devastation, there is a beacon of extraordinary hope built into the very fabric of your biology. Of all the complex, magnificent organs nestled within your human frame, the liver stands entirely alone in its miraculous ability to regenerate. You could lose over half of it to disease or trauma, and given the right environment, it will completely rebuild itself, cell by pristine cell. It is a wildly forgiving organ. But to unlock this regenerative superpower, you must first stop the daily assault. Healing a fatty liver does not require a pharmacy full of synthetic chemicals. It requires a profound respect for your body's evolutionary design. The most powerful intervention is also the simplest: silence the factory. Through intermittent fasting, you give your overworked digestive engine the vital pause it needs to shift from storing fat to burning it. When you drop your insulin levels by eliminating the relentless drip of refined sugars and processed grains, you finally unlock the biological gates, allowing the liver to eagerly consume the fat that has been suffocating it. We must also return to the bitter, potent medicines provided by the earth. Bitter greens, pungent radishes, organic sulfur from garlic, and the critical nutrient choline from pasture-raised egg yolks are the very raw materials your liver uses to synthesize thin, highly functional bile. These foods act as internal detergents, breaking down the stagnant, toxic sludge and flushing it safely out of your system. Healing is not a passive event. It is an active, deeply personal rebellion against a modern food environment designed to keep you sick and dependent. As the fat begins to melt away from those internal tissues, the transformation is nothing short of miraculous. The fog lifts from your brain, the color returns to your skin, the whites of your eyes become bright and clear, and a boundless, natural energy courses through your veins once again. You are not destined to quietly fade away into a haze of chronic illness and fatigue. Your body possesses an ancient, unstoppable blueprint for healing. You just have to make the conscious choice to step out of the way, stop the poisoning, and let the magnificent engine within you finally breathe. The human liver is a magnificent, resilient engine at the very core of our metabolic health, yet it is quietly suffering under the weight of the modern diet. When overwhelmed by a relentless influx of refined sugars and liquid fructose, the liver is forced into a state of metabolic panic, transforming into a toxic storage locker for fat. This internal suffocation triggers a devastating domino effect throughout the body. Essential fat-soluble vitamins pass right through us, leaving us cellularly starved despite overeating. Toxins back up into our bloodstream, setting off blaring check engine lights like chronic fatigue, skin breakouts, muddy vision, and joint inflammation. For decades, we have been misled to treat these external echoes with synthetic creams and pills while continuing to poison the source with fat-free, sugar-laden processed foods. However, the most profound truth is that our bodies are not destined for this chronic decay. The liver possesses an unrivaled, miraculous capacity to regenerate itself entirely if we simply stop the daily assault. By stepping away from the modern dietary trap, embracing intermittent fasting to lower insulin, and nourishing our bodies with natural, nutrient-dense whole foods like bitter greens and choline-rich eggs, we can unlock our body's ancient healing blueprint. We have the power to clear the toxic sludge, restore our vitality, and allow our most critical internal organ to finally breathe and thrive once again. True healing can never be achieved by merely silencing the body's warning signs. It demands that we address the root cause. We have been conditioned to wage war on our own symptoms, applying creams to weeping skin, taking pills for aching joints, and drinking caffeine for profound exhaustion, while ignoring the suffocating liver crying out for help beneath our ribs. The ultimate realization is that much of the modern food industry's health advice, particularly the demonization of natural fats and the normalization of hidden sugars, is the very architect of our metabolic collapse. Stop fighting the echoes of your illness and start treating the source. Begin by radically auditing your pantry. Throw out the highly processed, sugar-laden low-fat foods, fruit juices, and high-fructose corn syrups. Reintroduce natural, healthy fats and choline-rich foods like pasture-raised egg yolks, alongside bitter greens and cruciferous vegetables that act as internal detergents for your body. Give your digestive system a break by practicing intermittent fasting, allowing your insulin levels to drop so your liver can shift from storing toxic fat to burning it for fuel. Most importantly, start viewing your external blemishes, fatigue, and brain fog not as inevitable signs of aging, but as urgent, personal messages from your liver asking for a change. Which of these hidden check engine lights, like unexplained fatigue, skin breakouts, or changes in your vision, surprised you the most? Please take a moment to share your perspective in the comments below. It is incredibly helpful for our community to read different experiences and learn from one another. If you found this information valuable, please hit that subscribe button to support the channel. It gives us the motivation to keep creating more life-changing health content for you.